Hi, I'm Wayne.
Hi, I'm Michele.
And welcome to 2 Minutes on Native Yeasts.
Fermentation is a natural process. Sugar in grape juice is consumed by yeast and transformed into alcohol and CO2. Saccharomyces cerevisiae.
Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Alcoholic fermentation has been a part of human history for thousands of years. And until fairly recently, no one was adding yeast, it just
happened. Then industry started isolating and producing selected strains of Saccharomyces cerevisiae that acted in predictable ways and produced particular aromas.
But is this really the best way to make wines to express where they come from? Certainly selected yeasts have their advantages, but what if that particular yeast on your particular grapes from your particular vineyard creates flavors and aromas that no one else can? Enter the concept of native yeast fermentation.
Also known as wild yeasts or indigenous yeasts. All the wines here at Aquila del Torre are fermented using native yeasts only. Saccharomyces lives naturally on the skins of the grapes in the vineyard. So it's really important not to use anything in the vineyard that may harm your native yeasts. Red grapes spend time macerating with the skins. So the natural Saccharomyces on the grapes multiply and begin the fermentation.
Nothing else needs to be added. White wines are slightly different. Since white wines don't spend time with the skins, before the actual harvest, we gather some white grapes from different vineyards to cultivate our own native yeasts in what's called a pied de cuve or a starter.
Then, during the actual harvest, we already have a thriving amount of native yeasts we use to inoculate the musts and begin the fermentation. There is no buying strange yeast made in a lab. We are using our own homegrown Saccharomyces.
But another reason why this is so important comes after the fermentation is finished. That's why we have these awesome egg-shaped cement tanks.
All of the white wines here in the cellar are aged for about 12 months on the fine lees,
which are simply the accumulated yeast cells that have fallen to the bottom of the vats.
As they break down, the yeast cells release complex substances into the wine that give the volume, creaminess and complexity on the palate. But maybe even more importantly, some of these substances are amazing antioxidants.
And since white wines don't have the advantage of tannins like red wines do to protect them, lees contact means we don't have to add anything to protect the wines. And this egg shape can really help with this process, as the lees don't need to be stirred up from the bottom.
But the shape and the natural convection inside the eggs creates a gentle constant movement on the lees from the bottom to top.
It's all part of a concept of accompanying a wine instead of constructing it.
Adding as little as we can, letting our terroir, our territory and uniqueness emerge.
Creating wines that exist nowhere else in the world,
but only in the hills of Savorgnano del Torre.
And that's your 2 minutes
on native yeasts. Saccharomyces cerevisiae, quasi, dico in italiano. È che l'intervallo ta ta ta.
No, rifacciamo l'ultima battuta.